Have you ever wondered why some wives slowly become emotionally silent, even when their husband is a good man? He works hard, provides for the family, stays loyal, fulfills responsibilities, and yet, something inside the relationship quietly begins to die. The house still looks normal from outside. Family photos still carry smiles. Daily routines continue. But deep inside the heart of the woman, a painful loneliness starts growing silently. And the most heartbreaking part is this: many husbands never even realize it is happening. Not because they are bad people, but because they misunderstand what the human heart truly needs. Many men believe love means protection, money, responsibility, and sacrifice. But what if the deepest emotional need of a wife is something much more invisible? What if she is not secretly crying for expensive gifts, luxury, or perfection, but simply longing to feel emotionally seen, emotionally heard, and emotionally valued by the man she loves? Paramahansa Yogananda taught that every soul longs for divine connection, understanding, and inner warmth. And when emotional presence disappears from a marriage, the relationship slowly becomes mechanical. Two people may sleep in the same room, yet feel worlds apart inside. Sometimes a wife stops complaining not because she is finally happy, but because she has become tired of feeling emotionally unheard. Her silence becomes heavier than arguments. Her smile becomes softer, weaker, more distant. And many husbands only realize this truth when the emotional connection has already faded. Tonight, let us go deeper into this hidden spiritual truth about marriage, love, karma, and emotional awareness. Because understanding this may not only heal a relationship, it may awaken the heart itself. Section 1 begins with a hidden pain that exists inside countless marriages, yet very few people openly speak about it. Many wives carry an emotional loneliness that cannot be seen from outside. They continue smiling, managing the home, caring for children, supporting the family, and fulfilling every responsibility. But somewhere deep inside, they slowly begin to feel emotionally disconnected from the person they once felt closest to. The husband may believe everything is fine because there are no major fights, no dramatic problems, and life appears stable on the surface. But emotional distance rarely arrives loudly. It enters quietly through small moments of neglect repeated over time. A husband comes home tired from work, opens his phone, watches television, or stays mentally occupied with stress and responsibilities. Conversations become shorter. Eye contact becomes rare. Listening becomes mechanical. Slowly, the relationship shifts from emotional connection to routine survival. And the wife begins to feel something she struggles to explain even to herself. She does not necessarily want more money, more luxury, or even more attention from the world. What she truly longs for is emotional presence. She wants to feel that her inner world still matters to the man she loves. Sometimes a woman may spend an entire day waiting for just one moment of genuine understanding, one sincere conversation, one soft question like, "How are you really feeling?" But when that moment never comes, the heart slowly becomes quiet. Many women stop expressing pain because they feel unheard repeatedly. Their silence is not peace. It is emotional exhaustion. And this hidden loneliness slowly creates invisible walls inside marriage. Paramahansa Yogananda's wisdom reminds us that human beings are not nourished only by physical security. The soul also needs warmth, compassion, awareness, and loving attention. Without emotional connection, even a comfortable home can begin to feel emotionally empty. And sadly, many husbands realize this truth only after years of distance have already entered the relationship silently. Why does this emotional distance happen even in marriages where there is no lack of loyalty, responsibility, or good intentions? The answer is both psychological and spiritual. Many husbands are not emotionally absent because they do not care. They are emotionally disconnected because they were never taught how to deeply understand emotions, including their own. From childhood, many men are raised to believe that strength means silence. They are taught to hide vulnerability, suppress feelings, focus on success, and carry responsibilities without emotional expression. Slowly, the heart becomes guarded. The mind becomes trained only for survival, achievement, and pressure. A man may learn how to earn money, solve practical problems, and protect the family physically, but nobody teaches him how to remain emotionally present in love. Over time, work stress, financial pressure, social expectations, and inner exhaustion begin consuming mental energy. The husband may come home physically present, but emotionally drained. And when the inner mind is constantly restless, deep emotional connection becomes difficult. Spiritually, Yogananda-inspired wisdom teaches that when human consciousness becomes trapped only in external life, the heart slowly loses sensitivity. Modern life keeps people busy, distracted, and mentally scattered. The soul becomes disconnected from stillness, peace, and awareness. And when inner peace disappears, relationships also begin losing emotional warmth. Many husbands unknowingly start treating marriage like a responsibility system instead of a sacred emotional bond between two souls. Conversations become functional rather than heartfelt. Listening becomes impatient. Emotional intimacy fades slowly through unconscious neglect, not always through cruelty. Sometimes the husband genuinely believes that providing financially is the highest form of love, while the wife silently longs for emotional closeness instead. This creates a painful misunderstanding inside many relationships. The husband feels unappreciated for his sacrifices, while the wife feels emotionally unseen despite everything he provides. Both may love each other deeply, yet both may suffer silently because emotional awareness is missing. This is why spiritual awakening inside marriage is so important. True love is not only physical presence or duty. It is conscious attention, emotional sensitivity, patience, and the ability to truly see another human heart beyond routine life. Many emotional struggles inside marriage are not created in a single moment. They are often the result of deep inner patterns carried silently for years through childhood experiences, emotional wounds, family conditioning, and karma. Sometimes a husband grows up in a home where emotions were never openly expressed. Perhaps his father rarely showed affection, conversations were emotionally distant, or vulnerability was seen as weakness. Without realizing it, he carries those same emotional habits into his marriage. He may love his wife sincerely in his heart, yet still struggle to express warmth, softness, emotional reassurance, or deep listening because these qualities were never emotionally developed within him. Spiritually, this is where karma begins to reveal itself. Karma is not only about punishment or destiny. It is also the repetition of unconscious emotional patterns passed from one life experience to another until awareness finally breaks the cycle. A person who never received emotional understanding may unknowingly become emotionally unavailable to others. And unless consciousness awakens, these patterns continue repeating across relationships and generations. Sometimes destiny brings two souls together not simply for comfort, but for spiritual growth and emotional transformation. A sensitive wife may enter the life of an emotionally guarded husband not by accident, but because her presence is meant to awaken compassion, emotional maturity, and deeper self-awareness within him. Likewise, the husband's struggles may teach patience, forgiveness, and understanding to his partner. Every relationship becomes a spiritual mirror reflecting hidden wounds, fears, insecurities, and lessons that both souls must eventually face. Yogananda-inspired wisdom reminds us that relationships are not random encounters. They are opportunities for inner awakening. The emotional pain we experience in marriage often points toward parts of ourselves that still need healing. Sometimes the real problem is not lack of love, but unconscious emotional conditioning operating silently beneath the surface. And the moment a person becomes aware of these inner patterns, healing can begin. Because karma loses power when consciousness enters. The moment a husband begins asking himself, "Why do I struggle to emotionally connect?" he has already taken the first spiritual step toward transforming not only his marriage, but also his own heart. The signs of emotional disconnection inside marriage are often very quiet and easy to ignore in the beginning. There may not be dramatic fights, loud arguments, or obvious betrayal. Instead, the relationship slowly changes through silence, emotional distance, and small moments of disconnection repeated over time. A wife who once shared everything openly may suddenly stop expressing her feelings. She begins saying, "I'm fine," even when something inside her is hurting deeply. Conversations become shorter and more formal. Her laughter becomes less natural. The emotional warmth in her voice slowly fades. Sometimes she no longer argues because she has become emotionally tired of trying to be understood. Many husbands misunderstand this silence as peace, when in reality it may be quite emotional loneliness growing inside the relationship. In real life, this often appears in simple daily situations. A husband comes home from work exhausted and immediately becomes busy with his phone or television while his wife waits silently for even a few minutes of emotional attention. She tries sharing something important about her day, but receives distracted answers or practical solutions instead of emotional understanding. Slowly, she stops trying. Another wife may continue fulfilling every responsibility perfectly while secretly crying alone at night because she feels emotionally invisible beside the person she loves most. Sometimes emotional neglect becomes so normal that neither partner notices how disconnected they have become until the relationship feels empty inside. One husband once realized something painful when he saw his wife smiling more warmly while talking to strangers than when speaking to him. At first, he felt angry and confused. But later, he understood that emotional closeness between them had slowly disappeared years earlier through small moments of unconscious neglect. Yogananda-inspired wisdom teaches that the human heart quietly withdraws when it repeatedly feels unseen or emotionally unheard. Many marriages do not suddenly break apart overnight. They slowly weaken through emotional absence, lack of awareness, and the disappearance of sincere connection. And often, the deepest pain is not harsh words, but the feeling that the person closest to you no longer truly sees your inner world anymore. Healing emotional distance inside a marriage does not begin with expensive gifts, dramatic promises, or sudden perfection. True healing begins with small moments of conscious presence. It begins when a husband slowly learns to become emotionally available again, not only physically present. Many relationships start transforming the moment one person genuinely decides to listen with patience and awareness. Sometimes a wife does not need immediate solutions to every problem. She simply wants to feel emotionally safe while expressing her heart. A simple question spoken with sincerity, like, "How are you feeling these days?" can open emotional doors that have remained closed for years. One of the most powerful forms of love is undistracted attention. Sitting together without constantly checking the phone, making eye contact while listening, noticing emotional changes in your partner's voice or behavior, and offering warmth through small gestures can slowly rebuild emotional trust. Healing also requires softness of ego. Many husbands unknowingly become defensive when emotional issues are discussed because they feel criticized or unappreciated. But spiritual maturity begins when a person learns to listen without immediately protecting the ego. Yogananda-inspired wisdom teaches that every soul carries divine presence within it. This means that when we deeply honor the emotional reality of another person, we are also honoring something sacred inside them. Relationships heal when love becomes more conscious and less mechanical. Daily appreciation also carries powerful healing energy. A wife who feels emotionally valued through simple, sincere words often feels more connected than through material gifts alone. Small acts of kindness, Emotional reassurance, gentle affection, shared prayer, or even peaceful silence together can gradually restore warmth that seemed lost. Healing does not happen overnight because emotional wounds form slowly over time. Patience is necessary. Understanding is necessary. Consistency is necessary. Sometimes years of emotional distance begin healing through only a few minutes of genuine connection practiced daily. Spiritually, marriage becomes stronger when both partners stop trying to win against each other and instead begin protecting the emotional peace of the relationship itself. True love is not only about duty, responsibility, or staying together physically. True love is the willingness to remain emotionally awake to another human soul even after years of routine, stress, and life's difficulties. The deepest spiritual lesson hidden inside marriage is that love is not merely a social relationship between two people. It is a sacred opportunity for inner awakening. Many people enter marriage believing that happiness will come automatically through comfort, stability, family, or external success. But over time, life quietly reveals a deeper truth. Real love is not sustained by routine alone. It survives through awareness, emotional presence, compassion, and spiritual growth. Paramahansa Yogananda-inspired wisdom teaches that every human being carries a divine longing inside the soul. The longing to feel deeply connected, understood, and emotionally accepted. And often, the struggles inside relationships are not punishments, but invitations for spiritual evolution. A husband may spend years building financial security for his family while unknowingly neglecting the emotional world of the person standing beside him every day. Slowly, he realizes that material comfort cannot replace emotional warmth. A beautiful house cannot heal emotional loneliness. External success cannot create inner connection if two hearts stop truly seeing each other. This realization becomes a powerful spiritual awakening. The soul begins understanding that love is not only about providing, controlling, fixing, or fulfilling roles. Love is conscious presence. Love is emotional sensitivity. Love is learning to care for another person's inner world with gentleness and awareness. Many marriages suffer because people become spiritually asleep inside routine life. They stop observing each other deeply. They stop listening carefully. They stop appreciating the sacredness of the bond itself. But the moment awareness returns, relationships can transform. Even small acts of genuine emotional connection begin bringing light back into the relationship. Spiritually, every conflict, every emotional wound, and every misunderstanding inside marriage can become a teacher leading both souls toward greater compassion and self-awareness. Sometimes the person beside you is not only your life partner, but also a mirror helping you discover the parts of yourself that still need healing, patience, softness, and love. In the end, life passes very quickly. Beauty changes. Success changes. Circumstances change. But the emotional energy we give another soul leaves a permanent imprint on the heart. And perhaps the greatest awakening of all is realizing this simple truth. People may forget many things in life, but they never forget how emotionally safe, valued, and loved they felt in your presence. Before you leave tonight, take one quiet moment to reflect deeply on your own relationships. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you truly listened to the heart of someone you love without distraction, without judgment, and without rushing? In this fast-moving world, many people are physically together but emotionally far away from each other. And sometimes, one sincere conversation, one gentle moment of understanding, or one act of emotional presence can heal wounds that words alone never could. The truth is, every soul longs to feel seen, valued, understood, and emotionally safe. This is not weakness. This is part of our deepest human and spiritual nature. Paramahansa Yogananda-inspired wisdom reminds us that love becomes sacred when awareness enters it. When we stop treating relationships like routine and begin seeing them as opportunities for spiritual growth, compassion, an inner awakening, life itself starts transforming slowly from within. So tonight, do not only remember this message, try to live it. Speak more gently. Listen more deeply. Love more consciously. Because one day, people may forget many things we said or gave them, but they will always remember how our presence made their heart feel. And now, I would truly love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced emotional distance in a relationship, either as a husband or wife? What part of this message touched your heart the most? Share your thoughts peacefully in the comments below because your experience may help someone else feel less alone. And also tell me, what spiritual or relationship topic would you like the next video to explore? Your suggestions inspire this journey together. If this message brought peace, clarity, or emotional healing into your heart, you may gently subscribe, like, and share this video with someone who may silently need these words today. Until we meet again in the next spiritual reflection, may your heart remain filled with awareness, compassion, divine peace, and love. Jai Gurudev.